Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. We'll be continuing with our study of Sri Rudram in the first half and then Lalita Sahasranamam in the second half. We have some new friends with us for today. So we're just going to do a little quick review from the beginning and then we'll start in from where we left off last time. Okay, so do you want to project? So for this review, I'm just going to chant half lines, starting for Lagunyasam for Rudram. So you guys, whatever I say, just say what I say one time. Okay, and then we'll go from there. Okay. And we'll start with the Ganapati prayer. Everyone can join in. Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye. Om Athatmanam Shivatmanam Shri Rudrarupam Dhyayet.
Om Adhatmanam Shivatmanam Shri Rudrarupam Dhyayet
Shuddhaspatika Sankasham
Shuddhasvatika Sankasham
Trinetram Panchavakrakam
Trinetram Panchavakrakam
Gangadharam Dashabhujam
Gangadharam Dashabhujam
Sarvabharanabhushitam
Sarvabharanabhushitam
Nilagrivam Shashankankam
Nilagrivam Shashankankam
Nagayajñopavitinam
Nagayajñopavitinam
Vyaghacharmotariyancha
Vyaghacharmotariyancha
Varenyamabhayapradam
Varenyamabhayapradam
Kamandalvakshasutranam
Kamandalvakshasutranam
Dharinam Shulaparninam
Dharinam Shulapaninam
Jwalantam Pingalajata
Jwalantam Pingalajata
Shikhamudyotadharinam
Shikhamudyotadharinam
Vrashaskandhasamarudha
Vrishaskandhasamarudha
Mumadehardhadharinam
Mumadehardhadharinam
Amrutena Plutam Shantam
Amritena Plutam Shantam
Divya Bhogasamanvitam
Divya Bhogasamanvitam
Digdevata Samayuktam
Digdevata Samayuktam
Surasura Namaskrutam
Surasura Namaskrutam
Nityancha Shashvatam Shuddham
Nityancha Shashvatam Shuddham
Dhruvamaksharamavyayam
Dhruvamaksharamavyayam
Sarvavyapinamishanam
Sarvavyapinamishanam
Rudram Vaivishwarupinam
Rudram Vaivishwarupinam
Evam Dhyatva Dvijas Samyak
Evam Dhyatva Dvijas Samyak
Tato Yajanamarabhet
Tato Yajanamarabhed
Athato Rudrasnanarchanabhisheka
अधातो रुद्रस्नानार्चनाभिषेक
विधिं व्याख्यास्यामः
विधिं व्याख्यास्यामः
आदित एव तीर्थे स्नात्वा
आदित एव तीर्थे स्नात्वा
उदेत्य शुचिः
उदेत्य शुचिः
प्रयतो ब्रह्मचारी शुक्लवासा देवाभिमुखस्थित्वा
प्रयतो ब्रह्मचारी शुक्लवासा देवाभिमुखः स्थित्वा
आत्मनि देवता स्थापयेत्
आत्मनि देवता स्थापयेत्.
Very good. So now we're going to go through another part of the nyasam where normally you would be touching different parts of your body, because nyasam is where you're energizing certain very important parts of the subtle body or placing certain energies there as a protection. But right now we're not going to focus on that aspect because I want to focus more on the chanting and pronunciation. So I'm not going to do those motions or teach any of that. We're just going to do the same thing we just did, where I'll say each line and then you guys just repeat once. Prajanane brahma tishtatu
प्रजनने ब्रह्मा तिष्ठतु
पादयोर्विष्णुस्तिष्ठतु
पादयोर्विष्णुस्तिष्ठतु
हस्तयोर्हरस्तिष्ठतु
हस्तयोर्हरस्तिष्ठतु
बाह्वोरिन्द्रस्तिष्ठतु
बाह्वोरिन्द्रस्तिष्ठतु
जठरे अग्निस्तिष्ठतु
जठरे अग्निस्तिष्ठतु
हृदये शिवस्तिष्ठतु
हृदये शिवस्तिष्ठतु
कण्ठे वसवस्तिष्ठन्तु
कण्ठे वसवस्तिष्ठन्तु
वक्त्रे सरस्वती तिष्ठतु
वक्त्रे सरस्वती तिष्ठतु
नासिकयोर्वायुस्तिष्ठतु
नासिकयोर्वायुस्तिष्ठतु
नयनयोश्चन्द्रादित्यौ तिष्ठेताम्
नयनयोश्चन्द्रादित्यौ तिष्ठेताम्
कर्णयोरश्विनौ तिष्ठेताम्
कर्णयोरश्विनौ तिष्ठेताम्
ललाटे रुद्रास्तिष्ठन्तु
ललाटे रुद्रास्तिष्ठन्तु
मूर्ध्न्यादित्यास्तिष्ठन्तु
मूर्ध्न्यादित्यास्तिष्ठन्तु
शिरसि महादेवस्तिष्ठतु
शिरसि महादेवस्तिष्ठतु
शिखायां वामदेवस्तिष्ठतु
शिखायां वामदेवस्तिष्ठतु
पृष्ठे पिनाकी तिष्ठतु
पृष्ठे पिनाकी तिष्ठतु
पुरतः शूली तिष्ठतु
पुरतः शूली तिष्ठतु
पार्श्वयोः शिवशङ्करौ तिष्ठेताम्
पार्श्वयोः शिवाशङ्करौ तिष्ठेताम्
सर्वतो वायुस्तिष्ठतु
सर्वतो वायुस्तिष्ठतु
ततो बहिः सर्वतो अग्निर्ज्वाला
ततो बहिः सर्वतो अग्निर्ज्वाला
माला परिवृतस्तिष्ठतु
माला परिवृतस्तिष्ठतु
सर्वेष्वङ्गेषु सर्वा देवता
सर्वेष्वङ्गेषु सर्वा देवता
यथा स्थानं तिष्ठन्तु
यथा स्थानं तिष्ठन्तु
मां रक्षन्तु.
मां रक्षन्तु.
So in the very first part of the Lagu Nyasam, those verses or shlokas that we were chanting, they don't have swaras in a sense, but they're in the same meter as any other typical shloka like Lalita Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam. So we chant them in that same melody that we use for that, which is a very common melody. And that's just to keep us all together, basically. And then for something like what we just did, there's no set melody or notes for any of that. So in the temple, we just kind of have a sing-song way of going through it, but there's nothing that it has to be. But this next section that we're coming up to that begins with Agnirme Vachishhritaha, you'll notice some little marks below and above, and that's indicating some set swaras or notes that we're supposed to be chanting this. And it comes from the Vedas, and Vedas generally have swaras that are pretty much set in stone. So that's why we want to be a little bit careful about chanting accurately, because the swaras actually indicate part of the meaning, and changing the swaras would even change the meaning and possibly the effect and impact of what we're doing. So you can just listen and just try to follow the same melody. Agnirme Vachishhritaha.
Agnirme Vachishhritaha.
And for these, repeat it 2 times.
Agnirme Vachishhritaha.
Vaghridaye.
Vaghridaye. Vaghridaye.
Agnirme Vachishhritaha.
Agnirme Vachishhritaha. Agnirme Vachishhritaha.
Vaghridaye.
Vaghridaye. Vaghridaye.
Hridayam mayi.
Hridayam mayi. Hridayam mayi.
Aham amrute.
Aham amrite. Aham amrite.
Amritam brahmani.
Amritam brahmani. Amritam brahmani.
Vayorme prane shritaha.
Vayurme prane shritaha. Vayurme prane shritaha.
Prano hridaye.
Prano hridaye. Prano hridaye.
So you'll notice that every other line is repeating with this hridayam mayi, ahamrite. So we're going to skip over that line because we already went through it, and we'll just do the unique lines from here. Suryo me chakshushritaha.
Suryo me chakshushritaha. Suryo me chakshushritaha.
And here there's a little bit of a typo. I forgot to put the upper swara on the shu in chakshushi. So that's why there's an upper note there, but it's not marked on the thing. Suryo me chakshushritaha.
Suryo me chakshushritaha. Suryo me chakshushritaha.
Chakshur hridaye.
Chakshur hridaye. Chakshur hridaye.
Chandrama me manasi shritaha.
Chandrama me manasi shritaha. Chandrama me manasi shritaha.
Mano hridaye.
Mano hridaye. Mano hridaye.
Disho me shrotre shritaha.
Disho me shrotre shritaha. Disho me shrotre shritaha.
Shrotragam hridaye.
Shrotragam hridaye. Shrotragam hridaye.
Apo mere tatishritaha.
Apo mere tatishritaha. Apo mere tatishritaha.
Reto hridaye.
Reto hridaye. Reto hridaye.
पृथिवी मे शरीरे श्रिता
पृथिवी मे शरीरे श्रिता पृथिवी मे शरीरे श्रिता
शरीरगं हृदये
शरीरगुं हृदये शरीरगुं हृदये
ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः
ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः
ओषधिवनस्पतयो
ओषधिवनस्पतयो ओषधिवनस्पतयो
मे लोमसुश्रिताः
मे लोमसुश्रिताः मे लोमसुश्रिताः
लोमानि हृदये
लोमानि हृदये लोमानि हृदये
ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः
ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः ओषधिवनस्पतयो मे लोमसुश्रिताः
लोमानि हृदये
लोमानि हृदये लोमानि हृदये
इन्द्रो मे बले श्रितः
इन्द्रो मे बले श्रितः इन्द्रो मे बले श्रितः
बलगं हृदये
बलगुं हृदये बलगुं हृदये
पर्जन्यो मे मूर्ध्निःसृतः
पर्जन्यो मे मूर्ध्निश्रितः पर्जन्यो मे मूर्ध्निश्रितः
मूर्धा हृदये
मूर्धा हृदये मूर्धा हृदये
ईशानो मे मन्यो श्रितः
ईशानो मे मन्यौ श्रितः ईशानो मे मन्यौ श्रितः
मन्योर्हृदये
मन्युर्हृदये मन्युर्हृदये
आत्माम आत्मनिःश्रितः
आत्माम आत्मनिश्रितः आत्माम आत्मनिश्रितः
आत्मा हृदये
आत्मा हृदये आत्मा हृदये
पुनर्म आत्मा
पुनर्म आत्मा पुनर्म आत्मा
पुनरायुरागात्
पुनरायुरागात् पुनरायुरागात्
पुनर्म आत्मा पुनरायुरागात्
पुनर्म आत्मा पुनरायुरागात् पुनर्म आत्मा पुनरायुरागात्
पुनः प्राणः
पुनः प्राणः पुनः प्राणः
पुनरागूतमागात्
पुनराकूतमागात् पुनराकूतमागात्
पुनः प्राणः पुनरागूतमागात्
पुनः प्राणः पुनराकूतमागात् पुनः प्राणः पुनराकूतमागात्
वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्
वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर् वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्
वावृधानः
वावृधानः वावृधानः
वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्वावृधानः
वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्वावृधानः वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्वावृधानः
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्वमृतस्य
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्स्वमृतस्य अन्तस्तिष्ठत्स्वमृतस्य
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्व
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्व अन्तस्तिष्ठत्व
त्वमृतस्य गोपाः
अमृतस्य गोपाः अमृतस्य गोपाः
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्वमृतस्य गोपाः
अन्तस्तिष्ठत्वमृतस्य गोपाः अन्तस्तिष्ठत्वमृतस्य गोपाः.
So when you come to any line that seems a little tricky or it's like a tongue twister, if you're studying on your own or practicing, just take that line and break it into smaller parts. Just practice like just the first two words or just the last two words. Sometimes I find it easier to go to the end of the line and focus on that and then kind of add in more and more words until I get to the beginning. And it's easier to go all the way through the line. But breaking it down into smaller pieces and then building out from there is always easier than just trying to force yourself through the entire line, like again and again. Any questions?
Yeah.
Up until...
Any doubts? Anything that was good?
All right, so let's see if we can get through a little bit more of the next parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next, again, there's no set swaras for any of this, so it's just kind of, we make up our own version. Asya Sri Rudyadhyaya
Asya Sri Rudradhyaya Asya Sri Rudradhyaya
Prashna Mahamantrasya
Prashna Mahamantrasya Prashna Mahamantrasya
Asya Shri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya
Asya Shri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya Asya Shri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya
Aghora Rishihi
Aghora Rishihi Aghora Rishihi
Anushtup Chandaha
Anushtup Chandaha Anushtup Chandaha
Sankarshanamurti Swarupo
Sankarshanamurti Swarupo Sankarshanamurti Swarupo
Sankarshanamurti Swarupo
Sankarshanamurti Swarupo Sankarshanamurti Swarupo.
I'm hearing a little bit of a Shankarshana.
Is it Shankarshana there or Sankarshana?
Sankarshana. I think it's a Sangarsh. Down there. Starts with a Sa.
Where is this one?
Okay, I'll just mark it.
Sankarshana.
Sankarshana.
Yeah, so definitely a sa sound, no sha in that one. Yo savadityah paramapurushassa
Yo savadityah paramapurushah Yo savadityah paramapurushah
Yo savadityah
Yo savadityah Yo savadityah
paramapurushassa
Paramapurushassa Paramapurushassa
Esha Rudro Devata.
Esha Rudro Devata. Esha Rudro Devata.
Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata. Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata. Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Now I'll try the whole phrase. Sankarshanamurtiswarupo Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Sankarshana Murti Swarupo Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata. Sankarshana Murti Swarupo Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata.
Good. Namah Shivayeti Bijam.
Namah Shivayeti Bijam. Namah Shivayeti Bijam.
Shivatarayeti Shaktihi.
Shivatarayeti Shaktihi. Shivatarayeti Shaktihi.
Mahadevayeti Kilakam.
Mahadevayeti Kilakam. Mahadevayeti Kilakam.
Sri Samba Sadashiva.
Sri Samba Sadashiva. Sri Samba Sadashiva.
Prasada Siddhyarthe.
Prasada Siddhyarthe. Prasada Siddhyarthe.
Shri Samba Sadashiva Prasada Siddhyarthe.
Sri Samba Sadashiva Prasada Siddhyarthe. Sri Samba Sadashiva Prasada Siddhyarthe.
Jape Vinyogaha.
Jape Viniyogaha. Jape Viniyogaha. Remember, there's holding on Shiva Prasada. Sri Samba Sada Shiva Prasada Siddhyarthe. So those are also places for holding or a little pause when you chant. So I'll try the whole line. Shri Shri Samba Sada Shiva Prasada Siddhyarthe Jape Viniyogaha. Shri Samba Sada Shiva Prasada Siddhyarthe Jape Viniyogaha. Shri Samba Sada Shiva Prasada Siddhyarthe Jape Viniyogaha. Okay. Let's try just chanting that whole section under where it says Nyasa all together just one time, and then we'll pause with them. So we'll all chant it together one time. Om Asya Sri Rudradhyaya Prashna Mahamantrasya Aghora Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha Sankarshana Murti Swarupo Yosavadityah Paramapurushassa Esha Rudro Devata. Namah Shivayeti Bijam. Shivatarayeti Shaktihi. Mahadevayeti Kilakam. Shri Samba Sadashiva Prasada Siddhyarthe Jape Viniyogaha. Very nice.